Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 11th of July. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. Now this week has a supermoon in the sign of Capricorn, also known as a buck moon. But it's a bit of a misnomer, this, because the moon's actually in its most vulnerable position in its entire journey through those 28 days that it takes to go through its cycle. And because of that, I think it's important to understand that Capricornian energy, where the moon resides, is very much about the worldly realm. And we also have the potent planet of power, Pluto, not too far distant from this moon position too. But on the other side of the heavens, we have the Sun and the more quick-witted energies of Mercury. And they're asking us to think about protection, nurture, security, family issues, anything to do with our emotional needs. Now, it has become a bit of a maxim over the last 10, 15 years or so, that work-life balance. But with the advent of COVID and the amount of people working from home, has that ever been more true than now? So I think all of us could find ourselves in some quite strident conversations this week. There may be that practical, physical realm that we have to service, you know, the demands of work and earning the money, dealing with the realities of life as it is, but how do we balance this with our more emotional needs? And there can be some very intense moments, because broadly the moon and the sun are obviously exactly opposite, but Mercury and Pluto in the mix as well means we have a very intense set of energies on this particular full moon. Now also the energies in the sign of Uranus, which has been very strong this year because of the North Node reversing into Taurus on the 18th of January. And as I predicted in the autumn of last year, a big reset around the cost of living was very likely. Now, of course, now Mars has moved into this sign, but Mars is detrimented in the sign of Taurus, and Mars is also very impatient. It wants to consume, whereas the North Node and Uranus, which come together, by the way, in an exact conjunction on the 26th of July, well, they're much more to do with, in terms of Uranus, the truth, and in terms of the North Node, karma. We could see with Mars in the mix as well, quite a lot of volatility in terms of financial markets. It could be in terms of the cost of foodstuffs or fuel. You know, they've gone up a lot already, but I feel that the response of consumers could be a lot more angry with Mars in the mix. Fortunately, however, Uranus forges a terrific link with the position of the Sun on that full moon. And if we're prepared to, you know, look at things afresh, even things that are a bit stuck or difficult, and be more innovative and flexible in our approach, we can still make progress. Also, Venus, the planet of relating, it forges a very stable link with Saturn in the second half of this week. And that can help us to really appreciate the friendships or the financial part of our situation which are secure. Unfortunately, however, Venus, concurrent to that influence, is squared up by Neptune in the second half of this week. So I think it's possible, with all these energies boiling around, that we may start to see the people that really understand our predicament, are supportive of it, at least, you know, in terms of their emotional understanding of our particular individual situation. And we're going to see people who may want to avoid the reality of some harsh situations, and that could be Venus in that square with Neptune. If you do meet someone for the first time in a romantic context, if it's someone who's, you know, quite self-confident and has done well in a financial context, that could be something that actually doesn't feel so good, because the energy in the sign of Cancer is calling for a sense of understanding the importance of nurture, but there still could be some kind of big charged energy, whether it's around a personal situation or the world at large. And I just think that right angle between Venus and Neptune points towards the distortion of information. So if you do meet someone for the first time and you're not quite sure about them, I really would take it slowly. But Venus and Neptune, when they are in a relationship together, can also help us to trip the light fantastic. So maybe we just want to actually have a bit of escapism and enjoy some kind of time with someone who is very mesmeric. It's just down to that personal choice. But for more stable relationships, I think Venus's angle with Saturn is one that we can all really celebrate. Now, I've stormed through the 100,000 subs mark, and I'd love to get to 101 as soon as possible. I think we're about, at the time of recording this video, up to about 100,000 and 100,200 subs. If you've subbed already, thank you so much. If you've yet to do so, I'd be greatly appreciative. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you would like to benefit from more serious astrology, if you tell me 3 pieces of personal information in terms of time, date and place of birth, I can share with you a roadmap that can guide your moves for the rest of your life, and also a 12-month forecast with 30% off with my special package. Please see the link beneath this video. No 2 charts are the same, totally based on your information, and will help you to understand some of the patterns that may have dominated in your life so far, good or bad, and help you to perhaps work on the more challenging ones, but also can give you tremendous insights to guide your moves going forwards and to seize opportunities in a much more effective way. But please stay with me now for your in-depth forecast from Aries through to Pisces. Capricorn, your week commencing the 11th of forecast brings about a pivotal point on the back of the supermoon in your sign. Something that's very, very important to you may not, that's how it feels, be getting the recognition or acknowledgement or even conversation that you want from someone that you're connected to or want to connect to. And that could be frustrating. In a relationship context, if something isn't going amazingly well, this could be a week of very powerful conversations. The great news is that Uranus forges a sparkling alliance to the Sun in your 5th house of personal expression. So if you do need to say how it is, you've got Mars there to support you as well. Okay, Mars technically in Taurus is not at its best, but I think for you this is giving you a greater sense of your attractiveness. So if you need to assert how you feel to someone who you feel hasn't really been listening up as much as they should have done, or perhaps even comprehending what you're saying, or caught up in their world, then this can be a key week, and I think it can be really positive in that regard. There's also a great link between your ruler Saturn and also Venus. So if you're looking to have a heart-to-heart with someone about a financial matter, your clarity of thought, your precision and thoroughness, but also your awareness to perhaps the situation that they're in or you're needing to collaborate around, could see a real accord being reached. What's more challenging is that Venus is squaring with Neptune. If somebody tries to use a heavy dose of charm in order to compel you to do something that's of their benefit, that's not to say you shouldn't help them, but just be aware of how, you know, someone could be laying it on quite thick with that particular combination. But more seriously, that very powerful supermoon in your sign is asking you to think about the quality of your relationships. And if you feel that someone's not respecting your boundaries or understanding how you feel about something, with Pluto in the mix, you're likely to express yourself with a great deal more conviction.